Hello and welcome to yet another cast. Today for you I have another game on the Norx's Mapgen, a 3v3 matchmaker. And let's get into player introductions. Let's start with Northern Team up here, Team 1, and the Southern Team, Team 2. So for the Northern Team, on the westernmost slot, sorry. One day I may actually get that correct, we have in blue, Banana Smoothie, going Seraphim, opening first land. To the east of that, in the middle slot, we have Derp, a fellow caster, probably making a lot better cast than I, but yeah. Also going Seraphim, also opening first land. Then to the east of that, we have Exa. I'm just going to pronounce it as Strider, because I don't know how else to pronounce that. If I'm wrong about that pronunciation, please inform me, but also going Seraphim, also opening first land. And for the Southern Team, in the westernmost slot for the Southern Team, in orange. Wait, I didn't point out the colors. Right, Derp is dark blue, Strider is just purple. And for the Southern Team in orange, as going Aeon, opening first land, we have info action ratio. To the east of that, in this regal red, we have not Regal Red, Burgundy Red, right? Got confused with the colors right there. Going Seraphim, opening first land, we have Alexander Berlin. And to the east of that, in red, going Cyprian, also opening first land. And second air, we have Hannibalo. I think that's all the introductions out of the way, yep. Second air also for infection ratio and for Alexander Berlin. No second factory or queued up yet for Banana Smoothie. Or for Derp. Or for, but Strider has a factory queued up already, and also changing the name of the ASU to Crazy. I was crazy once. I believe they may have locked him in a rubber room with rats. Whatever. But yeah, map-wise we have some two major pawns on each side. Maybe we'll see some navy down there. Not a lot of reclaim. Plateaus in each of the corners. But yeah, those are pathable over the sea. There is actually some land bridges over there. And yeah. And I made the mistake of going back to and whatever. No. Anyway, we have some expansion coming out. Some early Selens come out from Alexander Berlin, moving up the middle, trying to harass Banana Smoothie. Let's see if they will pick up an engineer or just get cleaned up by the ACU, which is indeed what happened. Got a mole now moving up for Hannibalo with a small of a mantis following. Probably just trying to set up a lightly defended position in the middle. The operative word here being lightly, since one mantis isn't really gonna defend much. Especially not against ACUs. ACUs for Derp and Banana Smoothie now moving down the middle. And Strider starting a naval factory already and moving the ACU to the water. Sorry for that. I'm probably gonna get confused with the ACU name because I like to look at the units to actually remember the name of the player, because I'm shitty with that. And we already have a transport drop out from Alexander Berlin going after this northeastern plateau. And I think that will actually also successfully drop. 1 Sui and 3 engineers. That's way of defending. So that will contest the plateau for a short moment, or a short while I guess, until Strider notices. If they ever notice. And already additional land factory up here for Derp. Any more? Okay, there is a factory now going up. And already some T2 max, two T2 maxes up. Let's take a look at the basic banana smoothie. One T2 max is done, the second one is upgrading. Air factory has now been queued up. And Strider going for some T1 bombers right now. Also only one T2 max done, second one upgrading. Meanwhile, we have quite a few more factories out for Hannibalo, I think. Yep. Oh, hello Armed. Didn't see you there. Welcome in. But yeah, Hannibalo already has 3 factories and a naval factory up. And an air factory. While there is already also a naval factory out for Strider in the same pond, there is nowhere near the same amount of land spam going up for the northern team. So that will certainly cause some issues. Also mass T1 spam now going up for Alexander Berlin, right here in the middle. But at the same time we have 2 naval factories out for Banana Smoothie. Going for some submarines right now. At least one of them, the other one is currently idle. And we have Strider reclaiming this factory. Very sneakily. While Hannibalo is going for Torp. And since there is currently nothing to deny that, I believe that will actually finish. Also Strider now being harassed by this one submarine that got finished, but submarine's obviously not having a lot of DPS, so it's not going to be too much of an issue. Okay, Derp now pushing a slight bit up front here to this east, and Strider making landfall, pushing this position from the side now. Right, gun upgrade now going up for Derp. If I miss any other gun upgrades. Don't believe so. Okay, there is 82 upgrade going up for info action ratio. As well as 2 naval yards now, and I think there was a disconnect. Yeah, I think there was a disconnect and Derp was forced to leave. Right, people suggested a draw, not actually one draw happening, so yeah. That's a bit annoying for the northern team now, since they are down a player. But that's their first player down, also the player who went for the gun upgrade. Okay, T2 now going up for Alexander Berlin and Banana Smoothie. So maybe trying to get up some more defenses, just some more static defenses. This northern island has still been denied, and I think, I completely missed it, but infection ratio also was forced to leave, I guess. Which puts this at a 2v2 just due to connectivity. But yeah, the northern island up here is still denied. And there are no Suis being spammed out crossing this pond or this strait, which will be able to harass the shoreline up here. Meantime, nothing really going on in the middle. Some small pushes out from the with some Suis, not out from Suis, with some Suis out from Alexander Berlin. One day I may actually learn how to talk. Though I do not believe this day to be today. And there is T2 air for Banana Smoothie on this back plateau. Anything else very important right now? Don't see any other T2 currently for the northern team. Also this has been paused. Right, probably not to stall with the YTP chance going up. Since T2 air is of course very power intensive and requires you having T2 power. It's advisable to not actually build any before you finished your T2 power stuff. I cannot see any T2 air out for the southern team though. Or any T2 land on that matter. And there is no more T2, more Navy going up for Hannibalo. Also, that Com has pushed up, possibly forcing Strider out of the Navy due to that Torp upgrade, making the Eastern Pond very annoying. Right, a run by up here on over the land, also out from Hannibalo, going through the middle now. Not getting any major damage yet, but I believe that at least one T2 max will go down here, since that one is shedding HP quite quickly. Yep, there it goes. Maybe even a second one. I think a second one will go down, yes. But T1 bombers out from Strider quite effective at dealing with that. Saying that, there are still more going down. There are now, however, Wolfroos. And I think not all, 3 of the 4 went down. Of these 4 maxes went down. So it's not as bad as it could have been. It's still very bad though. But on that note, Hannibalo made some landfall, killing off 1 factory. Possibly some spam, but no major damage quite yet. And moving back into the water to be safe from gunships and T1 bombers. Now, I haven't looked at the western pond for a bit. There is just massive Suez spam moving over, harassing the navy, and now also taking out the snail factories. While there are 2 frigates, those are obviously not sufficient to deal with this amount of Suez. And I believe that those will actually be able to make landfall very soon. Okay, another frigate finishes. Right, but the T1 bombers are now just taking them out. So at least some slight successes. The ACU for Hannibalo now made full landfall. With currently nothing queued up other than just a movement order, but simply the fact that it landed is gonna be problematic since there isn't much in the space right now to stop an ACU. Right, I thought for a moment that was T2 air, but no, that's only T2 air, okay. So both players on the northern team currently at T2 air. There is T2 land out for Hannibalo. No T2 air yet though. And there is the T2 ACU for Alexander Berlin in the middle, which has erected a firebase. Now the firebase has been erected by Banana Smoothly to get some control here in the middle, but the ability of the Suez to just run through the water can easily bypass that. Is there any T2 air out for Alexander Berlin? No. Don't believe there is. Okay, there is one. There is a factory queued up to T2, but it's not being assisted, so this will take a while. And let's just take a look at the mass. Okay, there is quite a bit stored, so it's building at full capacity. On the note of mass, let's take a look at total at mass income. The southern team is very far ahead on total mass income, with Hannibalo, who is on a singular base, at 95, and Alexander Berlin on a whopping 150. I think it was higher for mid tier to reclaim, while both Banana Smoothie and Strider are below 70. Okay, Banana Smoothie now made it above 70, but still significantly further behind. Hannibalo, however, went down due to air. Right, there are Northers and Wolfus, so it was just the T2 air of the northern team allowing them to take out that ACU, which has been very bold, doing stuff up here, very boldly doing stuff up there. In the meantime, the ACU of Alexander Berlin, the last ACU of the southern team, is still in the middle, building up this firebase, getting up T2 P-gens. Now, I get why you would get T2 P-gens in your firebase if you have T2 on your ACU as your only bit of T2 bit power. Though I still have to point out that it's not a very good move, since this is a very big investment and very vulnerable. And these E-structures make it even worse, since those are very volatile. But T2 Navy has been achieved in the eastern pond. Yes, it's the eastern pond. In the eastern pond, and there is a cruiser under construction. However, gunship fire and T1 bombers are taking out that factory, and also that cruiser before it can finish. And the engineers going down also prevent this the factory from being repaired. So the T2 that has been prepared up here will probably not actually be able to produce any T2 units. At the same time, Banana Smoothie was able to get back into the Navy after the mass Sui spam has ceased. Or maybe I don't think it has ceased, but the spam armies are just dead now, and thus there is not this massive backlog that was there earlier. Okay, T2 Air has now been achieved by Alexander Berlin. At least T2 Seraphim Air. And a sneaky engineer drop on the southwestern plateau, now taking out stuff right here. Taking out Maxis and potentially even this factory. No, okay, the factory is out of range. But engineers moving out of that are not, so that will cause quite a bit of damage, and if there may be another PD queued up a bit closer, that will basically just night silent. At the same time, Strider now moving in with that ACU without any upgrades right now, to retake this island on the northeast. Taking quite a bit of damage from the Suis and FAMs that have been built up here. But the gunships are able to now take down the land factories that were built here. Though it is important to point out that there are quite a few air factories here as well. Just spamming out engineers and build power. There's no T2 Navy going out for Banana Smoothie, at least not yet. Would be nice to see for those Aeon missile cruisers. Not Aeon missile cruisers, for the Seraphim missile cruisers. Aeon doesn't get missiles, or at least not on its cruisers. But that investment is not being made yet. Maybe it will at some point, but we will have to see about that. It would definitely be able to harass the southern area quite a bit. Meantime, okay, there was an nano upgrade going up for Banana Smoothie. I guess that got cancelled for whatever reason. Maybe just eco, maybe it was just a misclick. There is, however, T3 now going up for Alexander Berlin. Maybe you will see an experimental being built up here in the middle, maybe something else. And additional T2 power now going up in the back right here. How's power looking? Are they stalled for mass? For power? Not really. They are also not able to actually spend their mass right now, overflowing around 100. And since there aren't any teammates, that is just being completely wasted. So let's take a look. Banana Smoothie is currently floating, but at least not overflowing. At 134 or something like that. Strider now also getting their eco up at 100 mass. Income completely spending it. So the while the northern team is technically behind on eco being on the total eco produce, it is actually ahead on eco spent, which is of course the more important number, the amount of eco that you're actually spending, since if you since 500 mass income are completely worthless if you're only spending 10 of that, for example. Very extreme example, I know, but I think it brings the point across very well. And a T2 max going down to a whole bunch of T1 bombers right here. Right, and I think that might have already have been the second T2 max, since there is a one of these T2 maxes here is dead. So I imagine that being quite annoying. Not naval yacht having been thrown up. Currently idle, maybe to go T2. Would love to see some T2 navy just harass. And the Suez just keep running by over the water, doing damage, getting past DPD. There's no secondary fire base that has been thrown up by Banana Smoothie, which is quite effective at dealing with all these Suez that are just trying to get over here. And this southwestern island is now just being retaken by Alexander Berlin, though the fact that it has been denied for quite some time will have done quite a bit of damage. Okay, the factories up here have been, right here in this corner, have been taken out. However, there were 4 more just thrown up here in the south. And there is now T1 Air harassing the ACU, possibly with the intention to just take out the ACU. And Strider is just standing here. I suspect that this ACU will not be long for this world, with all these Suez and now T1 bombers also coming in, since those will be quite a few shots to just launch. Some BDs being thrown up as well, in an attempt to prevent another push like that. And yeah, masterful dodging out from Strider, however, with the increasing amount of Suez that will become harder and harder, and the Seraphim T1 was also having insane AoE, will still keep doing damage even if it's technically a miss. ACU down to below 1k, below 500. The next level of veterancy is still quite a bit off, and below 100. Oh, back up above 100, but there goes the ACU, and thus we have a 1v1 between Banana Smoothie and Alexander Berlin. Banana Smoothie now also using T1 bombers, trying to take out a bunch of this stuff down here. I believe that 3 maxes actually went down to that, so that was quite effective. And okay, the third factory has now started producing, while the other 2 have been paused. But, possibly to get more eco up. And a chicken has been queued up right here in the back for Banana Smoothie. Any other experiments currently under construction? Don't believe so. So apparently a Yancy in Banana Smoothie managed to run by. Now just right in the middle of the space, taking out maxes. Very funny to see. Already 1.2k mass killed. That will possibly just take out a bunch of maxes. T2 land has been achieved, and T2 Seraphim land at least. And I see a brick, so there must be T3 Cypern land as well. Yep, here it is. Though only T1 Cypern Air yet, as of yet. But T3 Air, that is quite important. And I think only T1 Air on land as well. Sorry about that. There are some submarines that have been built up back here to possibly get back into the Navy. They are now taking out this one lone frigate. But submarines alone won't do too much to actually win Navy, since they are countered quite easily. And here we actually have now T2 Navy going up. And there I see 2 kinds of units queued up, so I assume we have cruisers and destroyers. Destroyers, of course, being very effective in dealing with submarines. Is there anything else currently in the works? Right, there is now Navy also going up on the eastern shore, Navy going back up at least, since there was Navy earlier. And the Bricks are now reaching the front line, basically only facing some T1 land. There's some T2 right here in the back, but even that will have struggles dealing with Bricks, since those are very tanky at the 7.5k HP. And does 3 times the HP pool of a single Ilshava. And if I remember correctly, also more DPS than a Ilshava, so those will be quite effective in dealing with that. Right, T3 Air has also been achieved for Banner Smoothie, and they are building a Strat Bomber. There are ASF out for Alexander Berlin, so it's not going to be that effective, but if they manage to sneak the Strat by, that will of course do quite a bit of damage. On that note, there's also Strat Bomber in the works for Alexander Berlin. So both players trying to go for a very similar strat. No pun intended. And I believe that may actually work out quite well, since okay, there are also ASF for Banana Smoothie, but again, if they manage to sneak it past those ASF, the strat will be able to do quite a bit of damage. Though that has been paused for a bit, since I suspect due to the construction of the T3P gen and just forgetting to keep going with that. Though there hasn't been a lot of stuff going on back here, since these 3 maxes have not been rebuilt yet. And have these 3 maxes on that note. However, there is a chicken going up, but Banana Smoothie is at a significantly higher economy right now, at 423 compared to the 180 of Alexander Berlin. Any mass stored? Okay, Alexander Berlin is actually using all of their mass, and Banana Smoothie is spending most of it, however is still floating around 40 with some fluctuations, so clearly not enough build power. Would be great to see more build power coming out to actually spend that all of that mass. Though it's still more mass spent in Alexander Berlin, which is very important. So that chicken right here is now at 75% for the Alexander Berlin, while the chicken of Banana Smoothie has been going on up very slowly in comparison, only at 50%. Thus, I believe, even though it has been started later and with low economy, Alexander Berlin may actually be faster on finishing this chicken. Which would of course bring the unfortunate experience for Banana Smoothie of facing off an experimental without any actual counter-experimental and only T2 and T1 land. While there are also bricks and bouncers now moving up. Bouncers being quite effective at dealing with air. Of course not as effective against gunships as Black would be, but since those gunships are not coming in swarms and just one by one, still can do quite a bit of damage. The strat seems to have been finished. I think I missed that, not sure where this are. Here we have the strat, currently still idle. Not queued up to attack anything. On that note, the strat for Alexander Berlin has also finished. Not sure where that one went, because because that does not lie here, so they probably sent it in to do something. I'm just not sure what. Okay, there are now also cruisers on the eastern pond, doing some shore bombardment, trying to take out this army that ran past the plateau up here, which is getting deep and doing quite a bit of damage. I think the bricks have been taken out now, so the amount of DPS in here has been significantly diminished. There are still Yanzis here though, as well as these bouncers that, by not doing too much damage against ground targets, still doing some damage. The biggest problem there being that bouncers are just horribly inaccurate. And a lot of bricks using their submersible, the fact that they are submersible to just walk through the water right here and make landfall on the shoreline. Okay, there are some Othams now up here. possibly an attempt to defend against that. Now, singular Optims don't rate well against bricks, since the Optim is more akin to the Titan or the Loyalist. Better than those, but still more closely related in its combat role. While the brick is of course a much heavier unit and thus able to take a lot more damage and also just the surviving armor doing more damage. I was actually wrong, both experimentals finished at roughly the same time. But banana smoothies, chicken having been started much further in the back, also taking a lot more time to actually finish, and not to finish but to walk up to the front. So by the construction was safer, it brings the drawback of just not actually being in a spot where it can help out. Something you really don't want to see. Let's take a look at mass incomes. Banana Smoothie overflowing a whopping 170 up to 200 at times, while Alexander Berlin now at 225 being able to use all of their economy. Now this brings the massive problem that with that Banana Smoothie is now actually spending less mass than their opponent, which means that the opponent is building more stuff, and famously more stuff beats less stuff, so you really don't want to see that. Also now this northern base that formerly belonged to Strider has been taken out by this brick push. Another awful development, since that was quite a bit of economy. And the base that once belonged to Derp has also taken quite a bit of damage, with the T3 land HQ actually being down quite low, at only 500 HP. Would have loved to see that being focused down to actually just deny the ability to build T3 for that. But on the other hand, max went down, I believe. Yeah, this might actually have been a T3 max, so a lot of damage done with that. But yeah, with that, Banner Smoothie is back down to just T1 land. And facing a chicken with just T1 land is a very, very bad experience. Wait, no. No, that HQ actually survived. And why did I think it died? I even pointed out that it didn't die. It's the T3 Max that died. Yeah, in that case, not actually down to just T1 land, but only small amounts of T2 and T3 production, which make the dealing with this chicken quite difficult for them, so that will be somewhat problematic. However, the chicken now moving up on the side island, or from the pond onto the side beach, not island. And I think it may actually be moving up in the south now, getting behind the chicken. Is Alexander Berlin aware of that? They can see that something is there, something is afoot, quite literally. But they can't quite see what it is. No, the fact that it changed to a radar signature or a land signature should be quite indicative of what it actually is. Now, is Banana Smoothie actually able to spend their economy now? Yes, they are. Nice to see, however, the economy has dropped by quite a bit. Now, both economies basically being equal. And due to the massive amount of economy currently being used up in the construction, the power infrastructure is actually not sufficient for Banana Smoothie, leading them to be power negative at times. Though that problem just comes from this massive bank of stored up mass. That would probably allow for quick rebuilding of everything, or the quick construction of a chicken, if there is enough build power for that. Since I believe that 40k mass is actually sufficient to build a chicken. I'm not sure on that, I'm not sure of the exact numbers, but at least with the income as well, I expect that it might be possible to quite quickly build a chicken without actually stalling. So that would be a nice idea. Economy for Banana Smoothie now going up very quickly again. I expect just due to that large amount of economy allowing quick rebuilding of these mechs in the back right here. Okay, yes. Nice to see. And the stored mass is also going down quite quickly. There is, however, a T3 bomber, which is out for Alexander Berlin, which is now dealing quite a bit of damage. Doing quite a bit of harassing work, and the ASF don't have it tagged. That's the proper syntax to say that. Okay, the chickens continue to tangle in the middle. The chicken of Banana Smoothie trading quite poorly in that encounter. Also taking a strat bomb to the face. Which is, well, you don't want to see that when you're already down on HP, and taking that as well is not a good experience. The chicken of Banana Smoothie only has 1.5k mass killed, while the chicken of Alexander Berlin has over 20k mass killed. I think that's 26k, yes. So that's a very major difference in how effective the chicken was. With Banana Smoothie's chicken also being quite badly damaged and thus very limited in the amount it can do in the future. So that's a rather bad sign. Alexander Berlin's strat finally goes down after, I believe, killing off the wreckage of a T3 max that was stationed right here, making rebuilding a lot more annoying. Another push just out with some bricks from Alexander Berlin. Out from Alexander Berlin with some bricks. God, I'm completely messing up my grammar today. I'm completely sorry about that. And I suppose it will just be a issue that will continue happening for now, but I will try to keep it under control. That brick push now taking out multiple maxes, already one down here, another down here. I believe those maxes were also claimed beforehand, so those went down. Another brick push also moving to the east of that. However, there are now large amounts of gunships built up by Banana Smoothie, and since there is no flag and only the bouncers, is actually able to quite effectively deal with the sand push. Wurthus, of course, being the most powerful of the T2 gunships for the trade-off that the Seraphim don't get any T3 gunships. So we would expect at least some decent T2 gunships in return for that. But that also has led this one brick to try and retreat. Not very successful with that. The gunship's now moving north to deal with this stuff up here. No, there were some more maxes that went down again. You hate to see it, but can't really do much about that. And here we now see a massive army of Suis that is now just moving out from this island. A lot of these factories up here have been taken out, and all of the engineers up here have actually been taken out, so maybe Alexander Berlin should consider building a lot more energies. But I see that that there have already been a bunch of energies queued up, so it is under works. But the Suis effectively taking out the cruiser that was positioned up here, and since there were no destroyers, these are actually a bit more annoying to deal with. To be fair, there are some frigates, but those are not as effective as the Seraphim destroyer in dealing with hover spam. And another experimental out for Banana Smoothie. we have another chicken. Nice to see. Air-wise, I think Air's basic is almost uncontested for Banana Smoothie right now. There are a few ASF, but nowhere near enough to actually contest Air. On any meaningful scale at least. However, Air, you can only do so much with Air, and there is a whole bunch of T3 production now also right here, which, okay, that is actually idle. So never mind that, I guess. Welcome back out. The cruisers are now just bombarding this chicken since it was idle for quite a bit. Okay. Alexander Berlin noticed. The not so gentle back massage made up of just repeated missile strikes has thus been ended. And there is just RT being thrown up now, preventing the cruisers to get too close. Fair enough, there's also some RT up here. Though I don't believe this to be too important, since the hover spam up here would be able to be... Right, there is no more hover spam to be produced because it has been taken out with air. And thus the northeastern island, for the first time since the start of the game, has actually become uncontested. But these gunships are now able to just take out the remaining series, and thus this area is actually pretty safe now, for now. We love to see it. There are a whole bunch of destroyers here right now though. Not destroyers, submarines. Sorry about that. And the bricks also having some slight torp capabilities. Nothing significant, but even a slight amount will do a lot of damage if there's nothing to counter it properly. Thus taking out the one cruiser that was there, since there are no cruisers in this game that actually have torpedoes. Well, I guess technically the UAF battlecruiser gets torpedoes, but I don't count that as a normal cruiser. The role of the battlecruiser is very different from that of normal cruisers, so I'm not gonna count it under that. But the second chicken for Banana Smoothie now moving up the middle as well. The first one, surprisingly, still alive at 15,000 HP, but taking a bit of damage from these T2 RTs, or this one T2 RT right here. There's also a second chicken being thrown up, though I don't really expect that to be finished, since there are two chickens moving in. Never mind, two chickens pulling back. I guess due to the air cover and the strat bomber. Another experiment has been finished. It was another chicken. So Banana Smoothie now going full out on the chickens. Fair enough if you look at that total... wait, no, that's reclaimed. But also, since they are still floating quite a bit of mass, it is fair enough. But Banana Smoothie has also got their eco advantage back up, so that will hopefully allow them to win the game against Alexander Berlin, or hopefully for them. A lot of BD here in the middle now, dealing quite a bit of damage on this chicken. But the chicken, being very tanky, might be able to take this out. Though there is the second chicken right here as well, which is now taking fire from two chickens. Okay, the first chicken did actually go down, but I think the lightning storm will take out this firebase. So a lot of BD goes down now. The shield actually survives, surprisingly. Right, but there are the Wolfers. And there's no one near enough AA to really... Well, saying that, there are actually some SAMs right here. Yeah, okay, there's actually enough AA to take out the Wolfers. Also, the flag of the chicken, while only doing small amounts of damage, is damaging the entire cloud of stuff. And there was also some flag emplacements right here, so that was quite effective in just dealing with those gunshots. I was wrong with saying that those would be quite effective there. I guess Alexander Berlin lives to see another day and also to actually finish the second check-in. Surprisingly. Okay, now check-in has been finished up for Banner's move now. With another one. I think this would be the fourth check-in. Currently under construction and almost complete. Okay, this chicken dipped into the water for a bit to just take out some of the cruisers right here. Fair enough, since cruisers can be quite annoying, especially when your tactical missile defense has been taken out. Though I believe it has, okay, it has at least been built back up, so the cruisers are now way less effective. But I actually see two of them that managed to just move through the water, I think. Getting some damage done in the back right here. Killing one of those Myrmidons. Taking some aggression from those Gunthers. But Gunthers being well known for their inaccuracy, of course not doing much damage right here. Saying that a Gunther was actually able to take that out in conjunction with one of the Strat Bombers. Or with the Strat Bomber right here. But the construction on Checken has slowed down for Alexander Berlin. So that may still take a while to go up, and there are now again two Checkens for Banner Smoothie. This time both at full HP. Which may lead to a lot more effectiveness than the basically dead and full HP chicken that were used to push the Smith position earlier. But we will have to see about that. Okay, now moving closer. Though since it's a chicken against two other chickens, and this one chicken is running away, those are never gonna catch up really, since same walking speed. And there was an attempt at taking us out with some gunships, but the mobile A was able to mop up the gunships that were put up there, so that will not work out. The second chicken has now finally finished for Alexander Berlin. But well, it could be quite effective, but that will still require to be used to actually be effective, obviously. I, however, did just realize that with 4 ranks of veterancy and nearly 60,000 mass killed, the first chicken gets almost double the HP pool, or, well, let's say a quarter or a third more of HP than a normal chicken. Putting it up at basically the same HP as or very close to the normal HP pool of a chicken, even though it's only two-thirds repaired right now. However, there is an air washer going up for Banana Smoothie, and since they do have air control right now, since there was no major air investment out from Alexander Berlin, while Banana Smoothie actually built quite a few more air factories, that air washer will probably be able to do quite a bit of damage. Since I really can't see anything contesting that properly, so that would be rather painful. Okay, there's now a singular chicken out for Alexander Berlin facing off the full HP chicken from Banana Smoothie. The original chicken of Alexander Berlin is going down though, since it was still on lower HP, even if only by a small margin. And the Lightning Storm is doing some pelting damage to this chicken, however it moved away fast enough to not actually take any damage. Same time we have the second chicken out from Alexander Berlin facing off the second chicken from Banana Smoothie. I think this may actually go in favor of Alexander Berlin. Yes. There are some more cruise missiles coming in, but those do not land since the chicken immediately moved away to await the sliding storm. A very good call. We actually still see the North Island being contested, now with T1 bombers. Just trying to deny it from being taken. Very petty, especially since we are 47 minutes into the game. And this island has been basically contested all game and is now being denied to reclaim with T1 bombers. Or at least it was tried to deny with T1 bombers. But the air swash are finished. The ACU of Exile and Berlin is now moving back, possibly due to them becoming aware of the increased amount of chickens in the middle and the increased amounts of experimentals due to that. What do we have? What else do we have going on right now? A lot of these maxes are currently unclaimed. So that is definitely hampering the economy for Banana Smoothie right now. Though at the same time there are quite a few maxes for Alexander Berlin that are still at T2 and also actively just being denied by cruisers. Would be great to see those being upgraded, especially since they are currently unable to actually spend their mass. I mean, both players are somewhat incapable of doing that properly. Okay, though Alexander Berlin is now actually spending mass. I think there may be an experimenter going up somewhere. Flat mode, yes. Instead of the constant chicken spam, we now have Monkey Lords. Of course, something that Banana Smoothie doesn't really have access to since the entire Northern team was made up of Seraphim. But there's no res upgrade going on for Banana Smoothie. So they are still trying to get up even more mass. Fair enough, you can never have enough mass income. Well, technically you can have enough mass income if you don't have enough power or the build power to actually spend it. But it's better to have it than not actually have it, so fair enough. The commander has been, of Alexander Berlin has now been pinged out by Strider. It's always nice if you have teammates that are actually just remaining in-game pointing stuff out, even after they died. It may often require a certain level of patience, but it's nice to have, and the air washer is now just sitting here idly. I would love to see that actually being used. That could probably just kill the comp or win the game, since there is currently no real, since the air is currently not really contested. But there's now also AGC out for Alexander Berlin. And that will... I think that may move up against the chicken up here, which has started denying this stuff a bit. Also, there are now some miasmas firing on this chicken. So, and that has forced Banana Smoothie to move it back. Right, here's the Ursa, it has some moving. And I think the first bomb may be dropped on this area. Yes, it is. Okay, there is quite a few miasmas in this area. Of course, also a shit ton of build power that was building these JCs. A little bit of that surviving. And also... okay, T3 Max actually survived. That's at least nice to see. But now just continuing to move up this island right here in the back, also with T3 Maxes. 5 of them going down. Putting this Awasa up to 169 units killed at 37.7k mass killed. And one level veterancy. Another bomb dropping on this air grid up here. And now just a control K out for Alexander Berlin. Fair enough, since there was no... since I couldn't really have seen a way either to get back into this. Especially with the Awasa just circling above your head, denying everything you could have tried to do without any since Epsilon didn't have any air control. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the game. It was streamed live on Twitch. Maybe with some luck I can actually fight Google on the thing that denied me from putting links in my descriptions again when this video goes up. At least I hope so. And if Google actually plays ball, I may be able to actually link my Twitch for once in the description. Yay! If Google says no, then this will have to wait another month. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed. Hope to see you again in a future cast. And yeah, till then, bye!